Hi everyone, my name is Steffi, also known as Lady Vengeance. I'm a model, burlesque performer, and lingerie designer, and today I'm being interviewed by Jan Vervaeke.
Hi, welcome here to Groene Vallei Park, Gent. Can you give some feedback about the post-lockdown? So now we're just about to finish lockdown, or it's not really finished. What did you do during the lockdown?
Well, many artists had to be creative because my main income is consistent of performing for people in venues and photo shoots in studios in less than 1.5 meter distance of people. So we had to start getting creative, like starting to work digitally, perform for cameras, and then streaming online. That worked pretty well. People seemed to like it because they couldn't go out as well. So we really had to think out of the box as performers, and I think we had many creative revelations during the lockdown. I think it was a fruitful one.
You're very, very diverse, so we're gonna talk about all the subjects you all do. So since 2010, you're a model. So how did you start being model, and how you look back to the period 2010, 2012, and where do you see yourself now?
When I started modeling, I was 15 years old. That wasn't quite with the motivation to become a model, as in do it as a job. It was more for self confidence. As a matter of fact, I was being bullied throughout high school because I was ugly and alternative. So it was kind of my revenge for my bullies, to prove to them that I could also be pretty, even though they didn't think I'm pretty, and that other people could like me and support me because of it. So it was kind of a reaction to that kind of behavior. Where am I now? Right now, it's my full-time job, basically. So I still love to do it. I'm starting to get good at it after 10 years. So I like doing things I'm good at. I really enjoy it. I have grown a lot in the last decade. So I really enjoy doing this, and I don't think about it as a job at all.
So later you start also pole dancing. How came the idea to do this, and what are your opinions about the people seeing pole dancing in society?
I started pole dancing when I was 17 years old. Um, I was mainly attracted to pole dancing because it combines a lot of essential disciplines as dancing, athletics, and aerial acrobatics, and of course strength. Um, so it was a very fresh sport to me, a new discipline that took me out of my comfort zone. So I thought maybe I should try it, and I did, and I fell in love immediately. I still do it. 7 years later, I still do it, but a little less intense because it's quite painful. You get burned easily on your arms, on your legs, on your elbows, everything. So it's quite hard on the body. I even participated in the Belgian Championship 2 years ago, but the day before I tore my hamstring. So I'm still recovering from that, but I hope I can participate again sometime soon.
So this was 2012. So 1 year later, 2013, you started burlesque, and so this is also something people have quite some different opinions about it. How do you see this, and why you chose this to do?
Starting with burlesque was actually part of my self confidence journey as I look back at it. Um, Dancing burlesque is, as I say, it's a dance. So it's not really stripping. It's still a style of dancing. There are a lot of vintage elements in it, salsa, tango. Of course, part of this is stripping, but you never see anything like nipples, and you always keep your pants on. So I don't like it being associated with stripping because it's not always meant to be sensual. Comedy is a big part of burlesque, and that's why it's so different because of it, because it makes people laugh. You engage a lot more with the public, which isn't really a part of stripping. It has a much bigger theatrical aspect than stripping. So that's why I like it more, because in high school I studied to be an actor. So it spoke more to me on a personal level, and it fitted just perfect in my journey. So I started doing it and still do it now, and I love it.
So a few years later, you started ballet dancing. So, in my opinion, but I hear also older people do it. So it's quite late to start it. Maybe not to do it, but to start it.
Yeah, when I started ballet, I was 20 years old, which is like a senior if you look at it in athletics. Um, I was never really allowed to do it by my parents. Um, but actually, it wasn't that hard to start with ballet at 20 because I wasn't. I mean, I was already training. Pole dancing is quite hard on the body. I had my strength, my flexibility. So this was just a total new technique of dancing and gaining strength. So it was not really that hard for me. I guess I was just lucky that I started 3 years before that with training for it, because if I would have started from zero, I probably wouldn't have persisted because it would have been very painful. It has been painful now, but it would have been more painful, and I probably would have been very demotivated by it. But actually, a lot of people start dancing ballet on a later age because lessons are always full, and most of the times I'm the youngest in the adult classes. So I'm glad this is kind of making a comeback when you're older.
So I also read you did something I didn't know before. Aerial silk, aerial hope. Can you tell me what it is, and also to people seeing the interview, what is this precisely?
So I've only been practicing aerial silk and aerial hoop for like 2 or 3 years. It's a circus discipline. It's aerial acrobatics. Um, it's derived from trapeze, aerial trapeze, and aerial rope. So literally a rope hanging from the ceiling straight down. It's the same discipline. You can also practice aerial silk on a rope and vice versa, but it's a different apparatus, a different texture. A rope doesn't have that much elasticity, it's more rigid, while aerial silk has more weight to it, it stretches more, and also it just looks a lot prettier, and it's very inventive. It's very, I like stuff where you have to think out of the box. It takes me out of my comfort zone, and it makes me get to know my body better, as in what can I do with my body, and how can I flex it, how can I stretch it, how can I pull it up. Same as with aerial hoop. Aerial hoop is a rigid apparatus. It's a circle hanging from the ceiling. You also have to pull yourself up. A lot of different techniques from pole dancing return an aerial hoop, but it's again a different apparatus. So it's just, you also get to know your boundaries and try to think creatively beyond those boundaries. So it's very fun to be creative with those different disciplines and combining them. As in, I also combined performing ballet with burlesque. I like to merge those together. That really makes me grow and very happy.
So we come a few years later. In 2019, you started. No, 2017. Sorry, also 2017. So the same year, approximately. Uh, Fire breathing and fire dancing. So why you chose this? This is very dangerous.
Because it's dangerous. No. Um, it's I was looking for something new. As you noticed, I after a year or two, I was starting to look for new disciplines and new skills to learn. So I thought maybe I should take a little more risk because I had a fear of heights. And then I started doing aerial acrobatics. I got over that, and I was like, where am I scared of? Ooh, fire breathing. That's kind of scary. So I thought I'm gonna try it. So I took a class, and apparently I was pretty good at it. So I kept on doing it, but it's still very dangerous. I mean, it's not because your technique is good that you can't make mistakes. So I try not to do it too often, but I try to practice a lot. But I really enjoy it because it looks spectacular. The adrenaline is really enslaving. I mean, it's a different kind of adrenaline than falling from the ceiling from 6 meters height. Of course, not falling on the floor, but a practice. Um, it's really different, and it takes a lot of things a step further. Um, yeah, I also want to do something more with special effects and body burns and doing what I love, but taking it a step further at a time.
So besides all this active creativity, you have also like a more other kind of creativity, like doing your own corsets and other your own creations. Can you tell more about this?
I started making lingerie and corsets last year because I've always had this love and fascination for lingerie. So I thought, why not start making it? Because I can't really find what I'm looking for at the market. So I just started doing it. I mean, I couldn't even sew on a button on a shirt. So I thought, this is gonna be expanding to me, and I'm gonna definitely get some challenges, be frustrated, but also learn something. And it's also perfect. I mean, I can make my own costumes now, which is reducing a lot of money. You know, I mean, it saves me a lot of money. Um, and it also expands my creativity. I can combine it with burlesque, with pole dancing, with aerial hoop and silk. I mean, I can make costumes for everything, and in reverse, it inspires my creations. So I'm so happy to see it all coming together and making my dreams come true, and just just being who I am and who I want to be in that way.
Concerning all of your activities, what are artists that inspire you? So, or artists that you look upon?
I think the most influential person I know is Dita Von Teese. I know, that's no surprise. But I met her last year when she was in Belgium. I got a meet and greet with her, and she's such a sweet person. She has been a great influence throughout my teenage years. First, I started seeing her burlesque, and then she also started making lingerie. And I also got my love for vintage clothes and vintage lifestyle from Dita. Um, for the rest, I don't really follow a lot of specific artists. I mean, I follow all kinds of artists from all kinds of disciplines, but no one in particular, because I'm not very fond of just one specific style. I like all kinds, and I like to combine them as well to something completely new. So I think the only person I can really pinpoint is Dita Von Teese.
Lady Vengeance. Why this name?
Oh, well, when I chose my name, I think I was 17 or so. I didn't really think much about it, Lady Vengeance. But when I look at it now, it was probably because of the reason why I started doing photo shoots and being a boudoir model. Because I was kind of looking for some revenge on my bullies and proving them that I was worthy of positive attention. And I started creating my image around the model being around Lady Vengeance. It's a femme fatale kind of image. I want her to be sexy, sultry, mysterious, something that I'm usually not in real life. So I can be her in that specific time frame or in front of the camera in a concept or as performer. So I'm actually still really happy with my name. It still fits me a lot. So, yeah.
Very last question. Suppose you're on a desert island, no internet, no radio, no television, only a record player or a CD player on batteries. It's a deserted island. Which three albums you take with you?
Um, when I think of it, probably Magma by Gojira. That's my last favorite that I added to the list. Um, I just love that concept album of Gojira. I just love it. There's no bad track on that album for me. The next one would probably be by Tool, which is my favorite band of all time, 10,000 Days, because I'll probably be stuck for 10,000 days on the island. Last but not least, We're Here Because We're Here by Anathema. A little more atmospherical in comparison to the other two. But still one of my favorite albums, which is turning 10 years this year.
So just to finish, tell where people can find you, which sites, which social media.
So you can find me on Facebook and Instagram, Lady Vengeance Model. Also, my lingerie page on Instagram and Facebook is Lady Vengeance Design. I also have a Patreon where I post uncensored pictures and behind the scenes videos and a lot more content. So if you're interested, you can always take a look there.
Okay, thank you very much for giving the interview. Interview done by Jan Vervaeke for Jan Vervaeke YouTube, Jan Vervaeke Foto and Film Facebook page. Bye bye. See you.